Let's go, guys, let's go! And the first team of Switzerland, I will call Switzerland A! Wouhou! Ok, je vais vous passer le micro, vous allez pouvoir présenter les capitaines, votre équipe. Je vous laisse le faire avec la plus grande des passions.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour. Alors, en premier, on a Damien Armé, Malorion, le magnifique. On a Niat Ferme. C'est pas ça. Ok. Arnaud Bayuti. Robin Repon. Achille Cavalerie. Jocelyn Dourte. Noé Repon. Arnaud Hurliman, Noam Rocha et Declan Tomassi. Et votre magnifique présentateur Jules Reyes.
On va laisser au capitaine de l'équipe suisse à présenter son équipe. Bruno Rémolif, à toi l'honneur.
Bonsoir. On commence tout de suite avec le numéro 3, Yanis Bruant. Le numéro 10 est coach de cette équipe, Gaël Simon. Le numéro 53, Justin Chanel. Le numéro 23 comme Michael Jordan, Mathieu Elfer. Le numéro 16 comme Fabien Barthez, Hugo Harvey. Le numéro 21, Valère de Tribolet. Le fameux numéro 4, MT4. Le numéro 24, Guillaume Kukush. Le numéro 18, Benjamin Favre. Le numéro 14, Joaquin Marine Pinero. Et le numéro 88, Javon Nguyen.
Ok, on va pouvoir procéder à l'appel des capitaines, au tirage au sort.
Good afternoon and welcome. You join us live here for the first of the Nations Cup quarter-finals. This is Switzerland A against Switzerland M18s. Both captains have just read the team names out to the rest of the crowd, and the Italian referees are now about to flip the coin to decide who will take the ball at the start of the period. Switzerland A won Group A, and Switzerland M18s came second in Group C, placing them into this first of the quarter-finals. And the Swiss M18s there taking the walk along to begin shaking hands with the referees and the Swiss A team, as is customary before the start of any match. And the Swiss A team will now walk to shake the referees' hands before taking off their presentation tops and lining up on court. You're joining us here at the Brandt Arena, the centrepiece court for the Nations Cup, which has seen some genuinely very exciting play throughout the entirety of today. The last match between Italy B women and Germany women, there was just a point in it, finished 50-49 to Italy B, with the lead changing hands several times. So we're absolutely hoping that we get the same level of excitement from this game today. You're seeing the lineups there across the screen, as read by the teams, both of them fulfilling a full squad of 12 players each. So plenty of substitutions from the bench expected, keeping each other fresh. Certainly whoever looks to win this, putting a good challenge in for the quarterfinals. at the quarterfinal stage, sorry, putting a good challenge in and setting their stall out for the semi-finals. They'll want to keep everybody fresh and make sure they're on their best game for the semi-finals, which take place from 11 o'clock tomorrow. For now, teams are making their final preparations, getting to their kit. A few high fives. Very shortly, they'll be taking the court. The M18's the first to walk onto the court, and it looks like from the left we see Hurliman, Tomasi, and Reis, and on the right-hand side, Abe and Malo, as well as Repon and the number 6 Durth. Hugo Bez brings the ball in for the Swiss to Marine Pinheiro. Remelief takes switches to Maxime Tanner, who puts the shot in at about 20 degrees, low and powerfully, and it breaks through the M18. First point to the Swiss A. Hurliman to race. Tomasi puts the ball down the line, caught by Janus Brun. Marine Pinheiro dictating things through the centre of the court. Tanner takes it, switches to Remelief. It comes over the top and again puts it between Rion and Dorth. 2-0 to Swiss A. Into the back, Hurliman. Reis again. He shoots, and a combination of Kusha and Helfer didn't quite catch that there. Marine Pinheiro brings it in quickly. Remelief shoots, digs up, and it's caught on second line by Hurliman. The sound of the cowbells you can hear celebrating that. Tomasi runs back from the other end, comes down to take the point here, and squares it up at 2-all. Marinier Pinheiro into Janus Brun. Shoots first time, high. Hurliman knocks it up, and Reis takes it on the rebound. In, and this has to be shot now by Tomasi. And it is scored. Maxime Tanner. The Swiss A are reacting. Maxime Tanner now coming down the other end. And Brun has gone up the right-hand side. Mathieu Hilfer taking the first-time shot, but it goes frame, and therefore the breakdown taken by Swiss M18s. Into Dorth. Across, Arbez and Reis. It's a given point, so the Swiss M18s will retain the ball. And Hurliman brings it in from the back. Moved across. Repon. Tomasi. And Janus Brun thinks that was frame, but the referee disagrees, calling it a clean point. Kusha. Remelief. Switch. Brun aerial. And very nice point scored there. In from the back now. Dorth. Hurliman. Reis. Across. Kush takes catch there. Remelief shoots just over 90 degrees. The left shooter had already begun backing away for the M18s. And Remelief takes the point. 5-4 to the Swiss A. Hurliman. Reis. First time shot, but called landing. You'll notice every time the ball's been brought in from the back, Hurliman has passed it on to Reis. Clearly an intentional way that the Swiss M18s are choosing to just set up, with Reis dictating the play from the start. Malo into Hurliman. Now sends it across, and Reis must shoot. Does so, and the ball lands just in court off the frame. Marine Pinheiro takes a quick breakdown. Remelief looks to skim over the top, and an excellent second line defence to dig it back up to the front line. And Tomasi will then take the shot and score against Remelief. Wonderful play from the Swiss M18s there. Second line running from Ripond. Apologies, not Ripond. Arbez. Here is Ripond. Cross to Tomasi. Tomasi is having an excellent start to the game. There's low, left-handed shots close to the baseline, and the Swiss A team are struggling to pick them up. The M18s lead for 6-5. Remelief, cross to Broom, shoots, and caught very nicely. Passed on to Hurleyman, who sends it back to Malo. Brun again. Hurleyman takes it cleanly, and the ball must now go to this end. Cross. And the point is scored there by Abe. Helfer not just quite able to grab hold of the ball. Kush brings it in from the back. Marin Pinheiro. Remelief with a long court ball to Helfer, switches across to Tanner and places it nicely through the gap between Abe and Hurleyman. Hurleyman to bring the ball in from the back. Durth. Switched across to Tomasi. Once again, excellent start to this game. Kusha. Tanner. Helfer. Very quick play there from the A team, and it's rewarded with the point. Arbe's not just quite able to get round in time, leaving Hurleyman too much to do, and the point scored between them. Rion on to Tomasi. Again, he scored there, that time just in between Marine Pinheiro and Yanis Brun. Kusha. A wide shot, which was dug up by Reis, but just not quite in court enough for Hurleyman to be able to get onto. The point is scored, and Hurleyman brings it back in from the back to Malo. Sent back down to Reis. Shoots low and 30, and Kusha just not quite able to pick it up as he squeezed into Helfer. That may have been close to landing, but the referees did not call it. Marin Pinheiro. Remelief. Brun takes the point, scoring between. Excellent high jump, giving him loads of time in the air to pick his gap, and he does so. Just noticing that Malo had not quite made it round, was sold by the original switch, leaving him with plenty of space. Hurleyman. Arbe's first time shot is caught by Kusha. Held first, same end, switched across to Tanner. Flicks it with that lovely languid action of his just down the line. Arbe's not quite able to get hold of that. Scores equal at 10-all, 6.5 minutes in. Durth returns it back now. Arbe sends it long again. Rapond is called foot on the line as he switches it across. Marinier Pinheiro will take the ball to restart. Kusha switches across to Tanner, who sends a flat long ball. It's not the ideal pass for Brun. He still rises, and with a slight deflection off the hand, takes the point. Again, I think there's a couple of these shots that are just starting to edge towards landing, but the referees are not calling them. A lovely option ball out to Hurleyman, but Tomasi just not quite able to control the pass there. Arbe. Kusha. Across to Tanner. Back to Helfer. And a lovely shot down the line. You're noticing a lot of the shots are coming in wide and flat, which gives the defence a lot of work to try and get round from the switch to be able to cover them off. You'll also notice that there's two Arbes. The Swiss A, number 16, the defender on the ball now, and the left shooter at the other end for Swiss M18s, as Yanis Brun takes the point there. So apologies if the double name ends up confusing you at all. Malo brings it in from the back. Hurleyman sends it across to Abe. Switch to Reis. Tanner just not quite able. Caught slightly on his heels there. Not quite in an optimum defensive position to receive the catch. Ball in from the back, Marinier Pinheiro. On to Remelief. Sends it back out to Marinier Pinheiro. Tanner takes the ball and had quite a lot to do there, did Tanner. Received the ball with a standing start close to the baseline, but kept his composure, took two big strides and managed to find the gap. Malo returns the ball to Reis. Switches across to Arbez. Hurleyman gets the ball now. It's the first time we've seen him shoot. Nice wide shot, but just not enough movement there to be able to get around Helfer, who took the catch. Swiss A recycled quickly, and Yanis Brun scores the point. Swiss A just starting to push out a little bit of a lead now. So we're 9 minutes in by 4 points. Malo brings the ball in. Early man with a good catch there. Reis. Across to Abe. And finds the gap nicely. Just the one quick switch is needed to create the movement which pushes the gap between Tanner and Kusha. And Abe found that very nicely. Abed, Brun, long ball, but just not quite accurate enough for Tanner. Even with his long arms, he couldn't quite reach it. Slight pause and play now as we recover the ball from behind the hoardings. Early man to begin, again, with the restart, who sends it into Durth. Abe, across, Reis. High towards Tanner's left shoulder, but he wasn't able to get enough of a dig on it for a second line to be in the picture, as it were. Marigny Pinheiro has his hands up to receive, but it's Abe who takes the first ball, switches across to Brun. First time, not the first time shot, apologies, but the shot from Brun after a high jump to about 60-70 degrees. And the A team can get a hand on it, but they can't keep it out. Reis, with the restart, has framed the ball. Marigny Pinheiro is dictating the pace in the middle of the court, really driving it on with the quick restarts, and it pays dividends there. Remelief takes the quick shot and catches just at least one of the M18 defence unawares. Early man onto Reis, switches across to Abez, and the point is scored. The Swiss A have also brought on Nguyen, who was playing for the M18s actually in the European Championships in Leeds earlier this year, but has now made the full step up to the A team. The M18s there. Now the reason the referee has called short is because the A team were trying to catch the ball and it rebounded from them and onto the frame. So even though it may seem like that was an M18 point, the result is still the same. On a technicality, the given point goes against the Swiss A team. Swiss A's, however, scoring again, and the M18s bring it into Hurleyman. Reis across. Abez. Some good work between Nguyen and Helfer. With one pass left, Remelief switches to Brun with a lovely high jump. And Tomasi gets the touch on there, but just isn't quite able to knock it back to one of his other defenders to catch. Into Hurleyman. Abez sends it long. And Tomasi, well defended by Marigny Pinheiro and Nguyen, and then the point finished off by Yanis Brun. Durth to bring the ball back in to Hurleyman. Across to Abez, Reis. Leaps nice and high, he's very upright in his action. And claims the point there. Abez across to Marigny Pinheiro. Remelief, switch to Brun. And again, the two defenders there, in Tomasi and Malo, went early, but Durth doesn't quite go early enough. And therefore, Yanis Brun is able to find the gap between the two central defenders. Early man. Abez. First time shot, easily caught by Nguyen. Abez recycles to Remelief, one pass left, doesn't need it, shoots, and Durth has read that quite nicely, but just not able to get both hands on the ball and affect the catch. Another point to Swiss A, who started to build a 7-point lead out. Hurleyman takes the ball first, goes to Abez, Reis. And that's a lovely second line shot there from Reis. Just at shoulder, head height, very difficult for front line to get hold of, and it drops just within the sidelines there. Nguyen switches across to Remelief, Yanis Brun. Tomasi is definitely getting hands on Yanis Brun, but just isn't quite able to affect the catches. He almost needs to be knocking them back in towards the rest of his defence. Both sides keeping things very calm at the moment. No need to rush. Nice finding the point there in between Tanner and Marigny Pinheiro, who has changed defensive ends. Hugo Abez and Chevan Nguyen have taken the right-hand side. Marigny Pinheiro the left-hand side. And there we are. Tomasi has now made the catch against Janus Brun. Recycles to Hurleyman. Race switches across. Tomasi scores the point. Apologies, I've missed the point where Arbez and Tomasi have changed ends for the M18s. Janus Brun also has done so. Janus Brun now playing with Mathieu Hilfer, the two complying nicely to effect the point for SUI A. With just over 30 seconds left of the period, it's a 6-point game. The M18s certainly haven't disgraced themselves. They've got a 5-point game, as Marianne Pinheiro just not quite able to pick it up on second line. But a bit of a lottery when you run those. Janus Brun, very little time left. Switches across to Mathieu Helfer, who shoots wide and takes the point. Time has stopped with 10 seconds to go as they recover the ball. And Hurleyman brings it in from the back now. Malo. Arbez. Cross. And Gwyn confirms that there will be no points scored at the end of the period there. At the end of the first period, SUI A 26, SUI M18s 20. Certainly a competitive game so far. It's always interesting when you end up with an M18s side playing against their country's A side, because in a lot of respects that is the ultimate motivation that the M18s would require. You're in a position where you're looking up to the players who you've probably played alongside some of them at club level, but equally it's enough motivation to say, do you know what, this is exactly what I want to aspire to. I want to be in that squad myself one day. Putting in a good performance at this level will absolutely cement your ambitions in amongst that squad. We've talked about Gwyn already being a youth product. He just 5 months ago in the European Championships in Leeds, he was playing for the M18 side, and now not only is he broken into the higher age, but he's in the A side as well. So he's clearly proved himself excellently in the meantime. Across the others as well, Janus Brun came through the youth setup, breaking into the men's team approximately 4 years ago. The others as well, Hugo Arbez and Joaquin Marianne Pinheiro. Maxime Tanner too have all, in the last 10 years, been part of the SUI youth squad. So it is very promising to see, certainly for the M18 players, that there is a clear path into the men's side, the A side, should they choose to keep up their training and their commitment. Certainly a high quality we've seen throughout the majority of the M18s. No visible substitutions yet through this break, but we will keep you up to date as soon as we know anything about them. In the meantime, there's some crowd entertainment going on from here. As you get to watch a highlights reel of the first period. Bruno here switching across to Janus Brun, who again finds that gap. Grace, as we talked about, jumping nice high and upright. This certainly wasn't anywhere close to an easy game for the SUI A, and all credit to them, they are taking it very seriously indeed, as you would expect from any side in the quarterfinals. But particularly, there can be a slight level of complacency that creeps in when you play against a side who you've played many, many times before, both at club level and at competition or training level for events such as this, or the European Championships, or indeed the World Championships, which for our listeners will be taking place in Czechia this year, and that's between the end of July and the start of August. 16 teams confirmed there, including Switzerland, Italy, the UK, Germany, and of course the hosts, the Czechs, as the 5 European sides. The Swiss M18s heading back out onto the court now. Hurleyman is now taking up position at the other end. Rapond with him and Tomasi. And no substitutions have been made. There is a defensive swap with Duerth and Malo now taking the left-hand side, Hurleyman taking the right-hand side. But otherwise, as before, Abe and Reis are on the left-hand side, and Tomasi and Rapond on the right-hand side. Hurleyman into Rapond. Switches to Tomasi. Excellent shot down the line, and Janis Brun has no answer. First point in this period to the M18s. Tanner across to Gael Sieber, who has come on to replace Bruno Remelief. And the defender Justine Chanel has also come on, replacing Hugo Abes. The Swiss there defending as almost a 3-1, with Janis Brun acting as a floating role, ready to pick up the left-hand shots from Tomasi, but it does not matter as Tomasi once again scores the point. Chanel takes it first to Sieber. Not a particularly accurate long ball, and the Swiss M18s will have the restart, which Hurleyman controls and takes. Nice, measured and calm, it seems to be his style of play. Arbet shoots, it's dug up nicely and caught by Mariné Pinheiro just on the sideline, but then cannot complete the pass to Janis Brun, who seems to be slightly unhappy, but we'll soon forget about that, I'm sure. Hurleyman. Long ball to Arbet. Switches to Reis. Back to Rion, but cannot control the switch. Just a few mistakes creeping in here now, which we weren't really seeing towards or throughout the first period, really. Not necessarily a sign of complacency. A lovely shot from Janis Brun. Over the heads of the front line defence and just dropping inside the court for a very difficult to defend second line shot. 2 minutes into the second period, Swiss men A are maintaining their lead of 6 points. Tomasi shoots slightly high on first time there, but Nguyen can't quite control it and therefore point to the M18s. Into Chanel. Sieber switches back across to Chanel. Janis Brun again doesn't have a particularly good ball sent to him, and as a result, the Swiss A cough up possession, but immediately get it right back as the pass is not controlled from the M18s. A slight delay now as the ball's returned to the field of play. Chanel takes the breakdown and brings it in to Janis Brun. He switches across to Mathieu Helfer, but it's called foot on the line. Excellent quick switch there, but just overstepping slightly. And Hurleyman will bring the ball in for the restart. Again, the Swiss M18's uncharacteristic errors here. Dropped pass, and this time the defence bail them out as the ball is dug across to Reis. We switch now to Tomasi. Janis Brun catches, and again goes for the shoot back, and Hurleyman just not quite able to pick that one up. Some excellent defence shown by both sides there from the Swiss. Hurleyman brings the ball in from the back. Dorth. Reis. Caught by Chanel. Sieber immediately shoots back. And Dorth is not able to recover that. Ball brought in from the back by Malo. Hurleyman. To the right and Rapond. Tomasi. It's an excellent defence by Janis Brun to bat the ball away, having dug it up in the first place. Mariné Pinheiro returns it to him. And Janis holds the defence before switching across to Mathieu Helfer, who takes the easy point offered through the gap. Hurleyman brings it back in now. Well caught by Jareth. Reis. 2 passes there. Tanner sends it against Chanel, reclaims it, and then sends to Sieber, who takes the shot and scores it. It's not taking too long into this third now before the Swiss A are really starting to pull away. Hurleyman. Down to Arbes. Sends to the other end for Rapond, who takes a shot and is caught by Pinheiro. Chanel. Tanner switches across. Sieber. Aimed square this time and is rewarded as Malo is unable to control. Swiss M18 is preparing a couple of substitutes here. Cavalieri and Rocha. And the first is made. Dorth comes off, Cavalieri comes on. Chanel across to Seabear. Who's in? Shoots second line but is called frame. And Cavalieri will take his first chance to get his hands on the ball by taking the restart. He feeds it to Halliman, who switches across to Tomasi. Back to Rapond. The ball is juggled a little in front line, but it's caught. And Yannis Brun takes the shot and scores it between Halliman and Malo. Tanner with a... I was about to say Tanner with an excellent catch there, but the referee believing that it had touched the floor just beforehand. So the M18s get the point. Marinier Pinheiro. Yannis Brun sends in a high shot, so the M18 defence is equal to it and catch it at the extent of a pass. Cavalieri. Arbez has to shoot now, does, and scores the point against Chanel. Apologies against Tanner, who compounds the error by shooting the ball short and sportingly admitting to the referee, who hadn't quite seen it, that that was a given point. Marinier Pinheiro. Yannis Brun across, and Helfer cannot quite hold on to the ball. Rion. Cavalieri. Rice, one more pass. Switches across to Arbez. And Tanner takes the catch. Nguyen. On to Yannis Brun. Helfer. Excellent shooting there again, finding the gap between the two defenders just at the end of their movement cycle. Ball sent back to Tomasi. Raiz shoots and scores between Nguyen and Pinheiro. The ball in from the back now to Chanel. Across to Gael Siba. And the point is scored there. Cavalieri brings it into Rion. Earlyman. Across to Tomasi. Yannis Brun. Catch has really got the measure now of Tomasi. He's starting to catch and shoot back a lot in the M18 defence. Whilst they were there that time, weren't able to gather it. Rion brings the ball in. A good catch from Cavalieri. Arbez. Rapond takes the shot and scores it as well. Nice switch, creating some movement. And Chanel couldn't hold on to the ball. Marinier Pinheiro. Yannis Brun very clever, disguising what shot he was going to do as he tucked the ball into his body, seeing the two defenders start to move out to the wide position. And Harliman hadn't quite moved round enough to cover, so just dropped the ball in for the easy points. I believe that's Rocha's first shot, and he scored the point with it. We certainly do have a solid number of left-handed left shooters to be able to call. Rocha looks to be no exception. I was very impressed with him at the Euros as well. Gael Siba just not putting enough on the shot, and therefore it goes short. Chanel bringing the ball in from the back. Marinier Pinheiro switches. Yannis Brun switches again. Helfer. And his foot on the line is the only thing preventing an excellent team point. The restart taken by Rion. Rapond had switched across to Rocha, but a foot on the line is called. Swiss M18s now look like they're preparing a further substitute. Unhelpfully for me commentating, this substitute, number 45, will also be called Rapond. Ball into Rapond, who scores the point against Chanel. No, the centre referee has overruled to call landing. Chanel takes the quick breakdown. Sibir. I think the point would have been scored there anyway. Cavallari was inside the D when he attempted to recover with the ball. Rocha sends the ball into Rion. Harleman doesn't agree with that. It shot beyond the defender, but the ball is called frame. You can see from his facial expression now he thought that was a clean shot. Marinia Pinheiro, Sibir, Tanner. Lovely flowing action has happened again. And he strokes the point in between the defender and the left shooter. 20-30 degrees. Harleman. Cross race. And a little confusion there for exactly what was happening. But Marinier Pinheiro had dug the ball up straight to Yannis Brun, who shot second line, but shot it just out of court. In fairness, the Swiss M18 defenders did well to keep themselves out of the way of that. But the lead is now to 11 points. And Swiss A starts to reflect their muscle a little. Bond across to Rocha, who shoots and scores the point. Marinier Pinheiro, Yannis Brun, switch across to Helfer. Rice not quite able to get down to that one. Harleman was down, but the defender standing in his way wasn't exactly helpful there. Cavallari, Rocha, high shot. Doug caught by Marinier Pinheiro, very sensible to make sure they still get the ball. He wasn't called for travelling, and finished off by Yannis Brun. Now Swiss A stretching their lead to 12 points. Cavallari across. And I've just missed the call there. I was just looking at the crowd to see where that ball had gone. But the referees have brought it back for either a foot on the line or a landing by the look of it. Brun across to Helfer. And Harleman's just not quite able to get onto that. It's been a few points now where the Swiss M18 defence isn't quite working to its optimum. And we're starting to think the coaches may need to make a change, whether in personnel or system, in order to accurately get them back into this game. That is Rapon scoring there. And Swiss A will bring the ball into the back. Sibir shoots, but is caught by Rapon. Harleman takes the ball on. Raiz, switch across. And Arbez can't get it past Brun and is punished as he immediately shoots back high, second line. Harleman are coming off, Duarte coming back onto the field. Cavallari feeds the ball in. And the point is scored there. Chanel, as he did so, was on the line. Which is unlucky. Nguyen across to Helfer. Back to Nguyen, fired down the other end. And Gael Sibir takes it and scores a simple but very well worked point. Duathin, Rapond, Raiz cannot quite take the catch. Take the point, sorry. And now they're starting to get punished. Helfer and Yannis Brun are running rings around this Swiss M18 defence, even with a 4 on the line. The restart's taken and brought back in again to Yannis Brun, across to Helfer, and the Swiss M18 defence there essentially just gave up. They'd been told by the switch and therefore decided that they weren't going to be able to get around. Just stood and admired. Rocha with an excellent shot just in front of the knees of Maxime Tanner there, for which he has no response. Some of the Swiss M18 still fighting hard to keep their place in this game. And Maxime Tanner responds there by coming back through with the point. Arbez across to Raiz, and then back to Rion, who takes an awkward-looking squarish shot from the left, but it just beats Marinier Pinheiro. Chanel, Brunner. Long ball to Tanner, who switches to Gael Sieber, and just again strokes the ball down the line, easy as you like. 5 seconds remaining in this third. Duth. Rice would have to shoot, but that's the end of the period. You may be able to hear the sounds of cowbells in the background as well. One of the M18 players, Arnaud Earlyman, his family bring them wherever they go as an inimitable sign of the Swiss team, and once you've heard them you absolutely never forget them. They appeared at the Euros, they've appeared at previous Genevas, they've appeared at World Championships. It's a very easily distinguishable way, but not necessarily their family, although that's quite possible, but certainly the Swiss are in town for Tchoukball. Ulysses Sanchez just providing a little entertainment to the crowd between the periods. Into the crowd at the moment, looking, we have some players from the UK, from Brazil, from Switzerland, what looks like Poland as well. The game after this will also be one of the quarterfinals. I'm not sure if it's going to be the Italy A against Poland quarterfinal, or potentially the Italy B against Germany. But both options are there. In fact, no, it's Swiss B versus Germany. Italy B are playing against the UK later. My apologies. Two minutes remaining until the restart. The Swiss A team are 15 points ahead of the M21 team. Correction, the M18 team, with a score at 51-36. Just about to see now if any changes have been made during the breaks for either of the sides. And it does indeed appear that the M18s have brought on Arnaud Bawiti to play on the right-hand side, opposite Tomasi. Rocha, Cavalieri, and Ripond on the left. And on the right, Bawiti, Duth, Rion, and Tomasi. And for the Swiss A side, it looks like Remelief will be coming back on. Accompanying him is Nguyen Chanel, and the first opportunity that we'll get to look at the Swiss A number 21, Valérie de Triboulet. Hugo Arbez also comes back onto the court, as does Guillaume Couche. This is also the first time that we're getting to see Benjamin Favre. Ball into Rion. Across to Bawiti. Rocha. Excellent shooting from the two of them. Rocha again just holding it slightly, waiting for the two defenders to commit, and then dropping it in the gap with Val-de-ruz. The restart taken by Cavalieri. Moves on to Bawiti, switches again. And the ball is recycled with a combination of the Swiss A team second line Front line. Before eventually Switzerland A get the point. Ball in from the back again. Cavallari. Repon. Tomasi. Lovely motion to his running. It's genuinely so fluid, so excellent. The jump doesn't look like he's doing anything, but he clearly gets a significant amount on it. And Gwyn across to Kusha. Benjamin Favre. I mean, that looked like one of the clearest landings I've seen for a while, but it was called short. How we play on. Some excellent switching there. Results in Hugo Abe putting the ball down the line, but it's just called frame, and Cavallari will take the restart. Ball sent back down to Rocha. Lepon. And now onto second line. Gwyn. Ball has to be shot by Remolief now. And it is successfully through the gap between Rocha and Cavallari. Still, Swiss M18s have started this period well, and are in fact 1 point ahead in this period. Ball is dug up there, Hugo Arbez takes it, and the centre referee has brought it back there for... I don't know, he's not giving the signal again. Ball comes in, Cavallari, Ripon, Rocha. Excellent shooting, this kid is really something. He'll be showing his potential at the Euros as well. But is doing his prospects of a potential move to the over 18 Swiss A squad later in either this year or into next year is firmly within his grasp. Cavallari. Ripon, Rocha, again, he's picking on de Tribolo there, who has no answer despite his magnificently 12 moustache. Chanel, Favre, Couche. Excellent work, just feigning to drop the ball inside and then puts it to the outside of Bahwiti, who had no response to that. And Dorth will bring the ball back in. Cavallari. Bahwiti. And Tomasi taking the point down the line there. Say, I'm not convinced about the score clock. Hugo, correction, Bruno there. So, put a shot just over the 90-degree mark. Rocha unable to pick up on that. Tomasi. Bahwiti, and Bahwiti scores his first point of the day, and the cowbells will go again. Hugo Arbez. Remolief takes the shot, and this time puts it between Cavallari and Ripon. He's really acting equal opportunities. Any gap he can find, he'll put the ball there. Dorth across, Tomasi. Maybe some slight obstruction on the second line, but I don't think it was enough to catch the ball anyway. And the Swiss A agree to that as Nguyen brings the ball back in. Abe. De Tribolo, apologies. And Remolief takes the point, shooting low and hard between Cavallari and Ripon. Just over 10 minutes left of this match now. Rion. Bahwiti. Tomasi. Excellent defensive work between the two there. Gwyn takes it off to Bruno, who switches across. And de Tribolo is now in the game, scoring. Excellent. Dorth. Tomasi. Bahwiti. Benjamin Favre now on the rebound. And that's been taken and scored. Relatively simple after the fact. The Swiss M18s now look to be changing their entire ends to tactically combat what the Swiss A team are doing. Tomasi. On to Dorth, who returns it. Ripon. Rocha again. Excellent work from Rocha. Ball in from the back to Abe. Bruno Remolief looking on second line and shoots about chest high for some of the front line defenders. So it would have been a horrible second line shot, but not too bad a second line shot, a front line shot. I thought he didn't quite get that. Ball switched across to Rochard. Again, he takes the point. He is being disgustingly clinical today. It's beautiful to watch. The Swiss men A wasting no time there. The ball in through Rimmerleaf, who again is picking that small little gap between the nets. Okay, the ball is brought in from the back now. Rion. Rocha. Repon. Caught by Chanel. And Benjamin Favre scores the point there for the Swiss A. Swiss A again starting to extend their lead now. It's up to 17 points. Duerth. Switched across. Tomasi. Excellent shooting. Excellent shooting as before. That's Nguyen across to Goucher. Favre. And the point is scored just below the knee of Rochard there. Just get both his legs down. Cavallari now in the back. And the ball, Swiss A picked that one up well on second line, recycling it to Nguyen. Goucher. Oh, I thought Rapont had that for a minute there. Just letting it slip through his fingers. Excellent shot, excellently read. You can see how far he moves to get there, but just can't quite recover it. Tomasi. Across. Bahuiti is called frame, but that looked like a lovely shot. He can just get it very slightly more on target. Be very dangerous. Abe. Along to Nguyen. No second line personal error at all for Swiss M18s. So when he does decide to pop it slightly high, it's a relatively easy point for him to win. Rion. Abe. Sorry, Duerth. And the point is scored. And Bruno Rimmerleaf taking the switch across. And there we go. Now we're seeing de Triboli get into the game. Takes it nicely, finishes it excellently in the gap, allowing the defenders no time at all. Rion. Rapon. Rochard. This one is dug up and excellently caught by Hugo Abaz. Recycled to Kusha, who's swapping ends. And Bruno Rimmerleaf shoots and is picked up again magnificently. And quick breakdown taken. Recycled to the other end. I don't think they quite need to go that flat, but it certainly paid off for them as they were able to pick the gap with relative ease. And now the ball coming back in. Cavallari, Rochard, across to Ripond, who takes it. Is caught. I think the Couche very quickly recycles to be able to score the point. Swiss M18s bring the ball in from the back. Cavallari with the catch. Across. And now Gwen takes it and feeds it in. De Triboli has clearly found his range because that's an excellent shot to take the points there. The ball in from the back. Rion. And now the other change that we're seeing from the M18s. Pham is on. An excellent catch there. Bahuiti then scores the point. Oh, that's just not quite able to cling with that ball. Chanel. And I don't really know what's going on there because Ben Favre had his head in his hands as if they'd just blown an excellent opportunity, but I don't really get that. Cavallari. Pham switched across to Bahuiti, but the switch wasn't quite in the right place there. Interesting to see as well how both Swiss sides have matched up their 3-end against a 4-end and vice versa. Putting two defenders on the same shooter can be an indication that I really don't want to play against you. Or there could be other coaching tactical decisions that have made that, like your veracity of second line runners, for example. Rocha across. Malo puts it inside and scores the point. Still some fight left in these M18s yet, despite it being 4 minutes to go, and they are 21 points down. Cavalieri takes the ball. Throws it in to Malo. Dupont. Rocha. The ball is like too high to gather, so that's a point to the M18s. Who reduce the gap to 20. Some would say too little too late in the situation, but you never know. Anything could happen. Anything has happened in sports before. Switched across now. Pham, lovely shot between the defenders, scores it very nicely. He's not been on the field long, and he's certainly got a nice jump action to be able to just fool the defence slightly. Chanel and Nguyen trying an elaborate switching routine there, potentially involving Kusha and Benjamin Favre. But there are no guarantees of that. We'll never know because they dropped the ball. Pham. Bohiti has been, I think that's more west. Ball across. Again, Pham catches it. Twist, they've got to go to the other end because if they take 4 shots at the same frame, that would be a point conceded. Unnecessarily, and that's not something they want when they have the opportunity to put someone like Rocha on the ball, who is so disgustingly clinical, to be able to finish those off. Abe swivels a couple of times. Detrimale. Remolif. Abe again. Oh, sumptuous, sumptuous shot. Not a person in sight to try and receive that one. Just get to wave it as it goes past. Rocha. Ripon. So a given point from Ripon there. The scores sit level, or as level as they did a couple of minutes ago. 20 points to the good are Swiss A. Now 19. Very difficult with 2 minutes left of the period to be able to say, yes, this is my period, this is my moment, anything like that. And Nguyen sending it just too long there, and just out of court. The restart will be taken by Cavalieri, who again sends it long. He's not a fan of the short breakdowns, this one. Rion across, and I mean, I didn't even hear that hit the mesh of the frame, but it clearly did, because they scored the point. And Ugaba's just pounding the slight error there. He wasn't quite able to gather in a poor ball thrown from the back line to be able to recycle it to his shooters. Oh, excellent teamwork there. 2 passes gone. And landing call on Detrimale, apologies. Duoth. Real. Bahuiti shoots second line and is caught there again. And Nguyen absolutely has his number on second line. Trying to show the M18s exactly what it's worth when you're able to switch well and quickly with a good point of their own post switch. Last 40 seconds now. Ball switched across a couple of times and eventually scored. Malo. Ball into Hugo Abe. Yim Kush switches across to Benjamin Favre. And the point is scored. Just 12 seconds left in the last period. Winning by 90 or 20 is what the Swiss are hoping to do. And there is your answer. They win by 20. After a slow start, it relatively quickly turned into a pretty routine win for the Swiss A. A couple of scares here and there, but in general, the Swiss A run out worthy winners, and they are the first of the teams who will step into the semi-finals tomorrow. The Swiss M18s will now move to a repechage-style event. Thank you very much for joining me here as we just see the team begin to do their post-match routine, which involves shaking hands, having the score read out to them, and ensuring that everybody is celebrating fair play and also in a good place at the end of the match, that it's been played in the right way. In a fun, competitive, but fair manner, which is all we can ask. In front of me, the Tchoukball Geneva Indoors staff, who work a tremendously large amount, wasting no time, and they're in the process of attaching the new signs for the next game. So until then, thank you very much and goodbye.